Hey there, makers! I'm Bree from the team here at Minerva. I am so excited to share some really fun project ideas today around the idea of dopamine dressing. So, I will share a little bit about how the concept came about, how you can incorporate it into your wardrobe and sewing practice, and then I've got 8 exciting project ideas for some really fantastic sewing inspiration. As always, all of the patterns and fabrics will be linked below. The product pages are great sources of inspiration. There's photos and reviews from other makers, so I definitely recommend checking them out. Before we go into all of the fun project ideas, I wanted to kind of break down the idea of dopamine dressing since it can be interpreted in a few different ways. So, first, I want to share kind of how it came about and what it is as an overall wardrobe concept, and then we will look at how that idea has come to present on the runway and the high street. The term dopamine dressing was coined by fashion psychologist Dr. Dawn Karen. So, in her book, Dress Your Best Life, she talks about how the garments we wear have a huge impact on our productivity, resilience, mental health. She cites several studies that show how wearing what you love actually alters brain chemistry to release and sustain dopamine levels. Now, dopamine, of course, is the hormone that our brains release when we are happy. Steady dopamine levels mean more focus, clarity, warmth, and feelings of satisfaction and contentment. Dopamine dressing means getting intentional about what we wear to give ourselves that extra boost to help stay grounded and present through whatever the day brings. The two main ideas of dopamine dressing that I want to focus on today are color, which we will get to in a minute, and items of personal value. So, Dr. Karen talks about how wearing items with a sentimental backstory can be a great point of connection and joy. So, for instance, garments or accessories that were received as a gift from a loved one or purchased as a souvenir on a memorable trip, those are associated with the social support or the happy memories, and those in turn release dopamine. Another great boost of personal value that is unique to sewists, of course, is wearing items that you have made yourself. The time and effort that goes into creating garments and accessories adds huge amounts of personal value to an item, which then directly contributes to that confidence, joy, and contentment. So, to get a little bit more personal, this is a big part of why I sew, and I would suspect a major reason why a lot of us settled into garment sewing. I know that I always feel way more present when I'm wearing something that I have made. It's like I get to carry with me everything that I learned in the sewing process. So today I am wearing one of my favorite me made tops. This is the Hannah tank that I made in the spring. And every time I put it on, I just feel so confident and ready for whatever is on my plate. I use one of my favorite fabrics. It is our Minerva core range enzyme washed 100% linen. Yeah, it's one of my absolute favorite fabrics that we carry. I love this olive green. I think it's so energizing. The linen is really soft. Now, I made some changes to the pattern to make it my own, and I learned a lot along the way. I even went the extra mile when I finished the inside with French seams. I put a little label in the back. And the cherry on top is these little shell buttons. It reminds me of when I would go to the tide pools with my parents when I was a kid. So to me, this is like the epitome of dopamine dressing. It's bright, it's fun. It reminds me of my own learning and creativity, and the buttons connect me to a special memory. So the confidence boost that I have has positive effects through other areas of my life, and it's that extra sentimental value that is absolutely at the heart of dopamine dressing. Now, the more tangible side of dopamine dressing and the aspect of it that has taken off as this huge trend is utilizing bright colors. So, in Dress Your Best Life, Dr. Karen again cites several studies about how color can affect our mood. While all colors can influence how we feel, the focus of dopamine dressing is largely around vibrant colors because, generally speaking, the brighter the hue, the harder that dopamine hit. In broad strokes, warm brights like hot pink, sunny yellow, bright orange are really great energy boosters that can stimulate the task initiation centers of the brain. Cooler brights like lime green, turquoise, and lilac are often associated with increased concentration, calm productivity, and interpersonal connectedness. So that covers dopamine dressing as a concept. It is highly personal, and there are so many ways to interpret and incorporate it into your unique personal style as well as into your sewing practice. So now I want to look at how dopamine dressing is showing up on the runway and on the high street. What we're seeing in terms of dopamine dressing as a trend is a real focus on those bright colors. It's a lot of solids with color blocking, but we're also seeing some fun bright prints as well as some power clashing, especially with florals, checks, and geometric prints. The emphasis is definitely on fabric and color, with these bold colors showing up across silhouettes of garment types, but we're seeing some extra concentration in power suits and bold coord sets. So I'm super excited to share 7 bright, beautiful fabrics perfect for bringing this dopamine dressing into your sewing room. Of course, I've also got some fun patterns to go with them to jumpstart your sewing inspiration. I'm starting us off with a power suit. I have really loved seeing how the suit trend has expanded over the last couple of seasons, from like dark traditional menswear inspired looks to bright colors and now including fun prints too. So for this dopamine inducing power suit, I have our Minerva exclusive cotton sateen. So this is the print Dynamic Brush Strokes. It is 100% cotton. It is slightly heavier than a cotton lawn, but it has a similar drape, and I love the colors in this print. They are so vibrant and fun with this bright purple and blue on the petrol background. But for me, it is this like hot cherry pink that sold me on it. It is so beautiful and I absolutely love it. So for the brush stroke power suit, I've got 2 patterns. For the suit jacket, I have chosen the Avid Seamstress blazer pattern, and for the trousers, I've gone for the Rose Pants by Made by Ray. So the blazer by the Avid Seamstress is an open front, relaxed fit blazer with classic tailoring details like the notched collar, the paneled sleeves, and it's got nice deep cuffs. The front features a waist break with neat inseam pockets, and there are shoulder darts for shaping. The blazer comes in UK sizes 6 to 22, which is for hips 34.5 to 51 inches. It's an intermediate pattern, perfect for sewists ready to level up their tailoring techniques. Since the blazer is designed to be a lighter layering piece, it recommends lightweight wool and wool blends, corduroy, velvet, and linen, as well as medium weight rayon twill or cotton sateen. For the trousers of this brushstroke power suit, I have picked the Made by Ray Rose Pants. These are the perfect flowy summery trousers, and they come in 3 lengths, so you can opt for the full-length trouser, a cropped pant, or a pair of shorts. The front features your choice of deep pleats or soft gathers for shaping. The front waistband is flat, but the back waistband is elasticated for some comfort and flexibility. The Rose Pants come in sizes extra small to 5X, so that is hips 34.5 to 59 inches. It's an improver pattern suitable for adventurous beginners with a bit of garment experience. Now for fabrics, it is important to go for a lightweight woven with a little bit of drape. Anything too heavy could cause some bulk, like at that back elastic waistband. So linen and linen blends, viscose or tencel challis or twill, cotton sateen, and chambray are all great options. So I think this dynamic brushstroke cotton sateen is so perfect for a lightweight summery power suit, but of course it needs a little top to go with it. So for that I have picked a perfectly pink fabric and a versatile pattern to go with it to complete the look. So this is the Barbiecore range Charmeuse Silky Satin, and this is the color Cerise Pink. Charmeuse Silky Satin in Cerise Pink. Say that 5 times fast. The color I think is like, this just is dopamine dressing to me. This deep lipstick pink is so gorgeous. I am obsessed, and it's like a perfect match for that dynamic brushstrokes print. I also think you could use it as like the lining for the blazer. It would be so pretty. So it is 100% polyester. It is super smooth. It feels amazing on the skin. Now it is quite slippery, so working with it might be a little challenging. I would recommend using some spray starch on the wrong side of the fabric, just to make it a little bit easier to cut and sew with. Now, This fabric comes in over 20 colors, and the selection is a really nice mix of brights like this, perfect for dopamine dressing, but there's also some really nice neutral tones in there to mix and match into your wardrobe. So I knew that I wanted a slinky little cami top to pair with the rose pants and layer under the Avid Seamstress blazer. So I have picked the Megan Nielsen Eucalypt tank and dress. This is such a beautifully simple, sleek design. The Eucalypt comes as a scoop neck tank or dress with an option of a feature center front seam. I really love these clean lines of the design, but the sewing process is also elevated by using a nice binding along the neckline and the arm side and using French seams for an extra tidy finish. The printed Eucalypt comes in sizes 0 to 20, which covers hips 34 to 48 inches. It's rated for beginners, and because of the simplicity of this design, the instructions are really, they're able to kind of get into the details of the finishing, walking you through creating and sewing bias binding, as well as enclosing the side and shoulder seams. Now you'll want to stick with lightweight woven fabrics for the Eucalypt. Because of the dartless design, I would recommend fabrics with a bit of drape. So if you're looking for a steady sew, cotton lawn is a great option that will still have some movement when you wear it, but is easy to sew up. Viscose, tencel, silk, and charmeuse are great options for drape and movement, but might require a little more patience to sew up. So in this case, I think this bright pink charmeuse silky satin will be so perfect for the Eucalypt tank as part of that dynamic brushstroke power suit. Next up, I have a fun and bright floral print. So this is one of our Minerva exclusive prints. It is called Blossoming Floral. Now currently we have it available on both the viscose challis and this viscose linen base. So this one is 55% linen and 45% viscose. So that combo makes it so that it has a good amount of body, but still some lovely drape and movement to it. Now, I just think that florals are like inherently happy, and I think this one is so cute. I just can't get over how bright these colors are, especially on a linen base. You have these bright like highlighter blues and the mint green. It is just so fun and super cheerful. The Tilly and the Buttons Mabel blouse and dress is such a fun and happy design. It makes me think of like picnics or walks on the beach. I recently made one up for myself and it is so fun to wear. I really love the neckline, how those raglan sleeves create this really beautiful square neck with the elastic at the shoulders and across the chest. You can go for a short puff sleeve or a long billowy bishop sleeve. Both the sleeves and the waist feature shirring as both a cute and comfy detail. Mabel comes in the full Tilly and the Buttons size range. So that's Tilly sizes 1 to 15, so UK 6 to 34. It's basically for hips 33 to 61 inches. It is considered an improver pattern. So if you've not tried shearing, it can take a little minute to get used to, but once you got your tension set, it's really easy and super fun. We've got a couple shearing tutorials actually that I can link below, and Tilly's instructions are great as well. For fabrics, you will want something light to medium weight. You don't want to go for too much structure because every fabric kind of holds shearing a little bit differently, so you'll want to do some experimentation, but linen blends, viscose, cotton lawn, all of those are going to be really great options, including this one for a really fun floral Mabel dress. Next up, I have another happy picnicky sort of fabric. So I have been leaning really hard into the Barbiecore trend lately, and so for this I have picked the Minerva Core range 1-inch check gingham in pink. Now gingham is like such a fun print to wear, and I really love that our Minerva Core range offers lots of different scales of gingham in several different colors. So this one is 65% polyester and 35% cotton. Now we also have some ginghams in cotton and viscose as well. This one has a really nice, soft, smooth hand to it and a really crisp body. So it's perfect for like a tailored blouse or dress, though depending on the type of skirt, you may consider lining it because it's not 100% opaque, but it feels so luxurious, and I love this bright hot pink. Sticking with the Barbie inspiration for this bright pink gingham, I have chosen Gertie's Simplicity 9291. This has been a big hit in the sewing community, and you can really see from the design that it's definitely influenced or inspired by early 1960s glamour. But depending on your fabric, you can either lean into that vintage vibe or just kind of keep it like a subtle little nod to the retro feel. The pattern features a close-fitting princess seamed bodice with little spaghetti straps that have adjustable sliders. You can also choose between two midi length skirt options. There's a full gathered skirt or a slim darted pencil skirt. Simplicity 9291 comes in sizes 6 to 22. The sizing is spread across two envelopes. So the A5 envelope is sizes 6 to 14, which is for hips measuring 32.5 to 38 inches. The E5 envelope contains sizes 14 to 22, which is for hips 38 to 46 inches. So this is another improver pattern. So you've got the curve of the princess seam. It's pretty dramatic, and I would recommend like taking your time to ease those curved pieces together. Now, the great thing about princess seams though is that you can really work to nail the fit because you have a whole extra seam where you can let it in and take it out rather than just having like the dart points and the side seams. So that's a big advantage, even though they do take a little bit more time. Now for fabrics, you will want a light to medium weight woven. Now because the bodice is really fitted, you will want your fabric to have some body to keep that structure. So cotton poplin, sateen, chambray, and shirting like this bright pink Barbie gingham. Those are really great options, as well as lightweight linen, and jacquard and brocade will work really nicely as well. So next up is a fabric that I have just totally fallen in love with. This is one of our exclusive prints, this time on our viscose challis base. It is called Meadow Melody, and I just couldn't resist snapping some of this one up. This grassy emerald green has been everywhere the last couple of seasons, and we're seeing it so much associated with that dopamine dressing trend. Now, I really love this simple white floral motif on the green background. It kind of feels like a modern take on a 1940s print. And the viscose challis is just so nice, so soft and drapey. It's perfect for tops, skirts, and dresses. So I was very much feeling that 1940s vibe, and I was immediately drawn to the Armadale dress by Style Arc. It's a really nice nod to the shirt dress style of the 1940s with some sleek modern details. So it has a figure-hugging midi-length paneled skirt, and the bodice just kind of blouses out a little bit thanks to some gathering at the waist. The V-neck features a simple and sweet Johnny collar, and the short sleeves have a cute little turned up cuff. The Armadale dress comes in sizes 4 to 30, which is spread across two size envelopes. So the 4 to 16 band covers hips 32.5 to 44.5 inches. The 18 to 30 range is for hips 46.5 to 60.5 inches. Now this is an intermediate pattern. Style Arc's instructions tend to be pretty brief, so it will definitely help to have some experience sewing details like setting a collar into a facing. You'll want to look for lightweight woven fabrics with some drape, so tencel, crepe, silk, and viscose, like this Meadow Melody challis, will have the right amount of movement for a swishy Armadale dress. My last couple of picks had more of a vintage feel to them, so it's time to bring in more modern geometric print. So this is the Atelier Brunette Domino Kelsey Viscose. So it is 100% viscose, but it has this really lovely, like, crepey texture to it. It feels really, really smooth and silky. It's just so like light and airy, and I'm so in love with this color scheme situation going where we have this vibrant dahlia pink paired against the earthy ochre. I think it is so gorgeous. This is really, really nice for tops and skirts, really beautiful for dresses. I would say it's not 100% opaque, so if you are doing like a more close-fitting skirt or even trousers, you may consider lining it. So since the dopamine dressing and the coord trends seem to be overlapping a whole bunch on the high street, I have chosen the Friday Pattern Company Saturday set for this Domino Kelsey viscose. The Saturday set consists of a tie front crop top with a notched collar and bishop sleeves, and a midi-length A-line skirt with slash pockets and an elasticated back waistband. Friday Pattern Company has a great size range. The Saturday set comes in sizes extra small to 7X, so that covers hips 34 to 63 inches. It's aimed at advanced beginners with really thorough instructions, but there's still enough details to keep it fun and interesting for more advanced sewists. Fabric recommendations include lightweight linen, cotton lawn, chambray, viscose, tencel, and crepe. I think this geometric check combined with the drapiness of this Atelier Brunette Domino Kelsey viscose is going to make for such a stunning set. For my last fabric, I went for something a little more low-key. I was thinking it would be really fun to have an everyday layering piece made up in a not so everyday color. I'm a firm believer that layering pieces should be very versatile, but that doesn't mean they have to be neutral. So I have gone for this beautiful stretch suede scuba from the Minerva core range. Now, this dark purple is muted enough to mix and match with lots of outfits, but it's also like a cool and unique color that would add an extra layer of intentionality. Now, if dark purple is not your thing, it does come in over 20 other colors. The scuba suede is 95% polyester and 5% spandex. It is really soft and feels really good on the skin. The back side is also really nice. It kind of acts like lining. So this one has about 30% horizontal stretch and 10% vertical stretch. Technically it is a knit, but it will sew similarly to a stretch woven. You can treat it like a woven and use a straight stitch on most seams, or you can treat it like a knit and sew it up on the overlocker. Just be sure that you're using a press cloth to not scorch out any of this beautiful faux suede texture. So for my everyday, but a little bit extra layering piece, I have picked the Cashmerette Canton Moto jacket. It is a classic biker style jacket with an asymmetrical zip and a notched collar. There is a cropped length as well as a traditional hip length, and that one has the option to add some zippered pockets. The Cashmerette Canton comes in US 0 to 30, split across two size ranges. So the 0 to 16 package covers hips 35 to 46 inches. The 12 to 32 range covers hips 42 to 62 inches. Both ranges offer separate pattern pieces for 3 bust sizes, so you can really get a great fit across those princess seams. And it also has a standard and full bicep piece as well. The Canton has a lining as well as multiple zips and snaps, so it is placed in the intermediate to advanced category. The instructions are great though, and they really hold your hand all the way through the end, so it's a great project for leveling up your sewing skills. Canton was designed for mid to heavyweight woven fabrics, so you could go for boiled wool, boucle, jacquard, denim, vinyl, and leather. But low stretch knits like scuba and faux suede like this one will also work really nicely. So those are my top picks for sewing up the dopamine dressing trend. To recap my little inspiration selection, I chose a power suit made in our dynamic brushstroke cotton sateen using the Avid Seamstress blazer and the Made by Ray rose pants, a hot pink charmeuse eucalypt tank, a blossoming floral Mabel dress, a Barbie pink gingham simplicity 9291 fit and flare dress, a floaty green Armadale dress in our Meadow Melody print, a Friday Pattern Company Saturday skirt set in our pink and ochre Domino Kelsey print from Atelier Brunette, and lastly a deep purple faux suede Canton Moto jacket from Cashmerette. If any of the patterns or fabrics we chatted about today caught your eye, be sure to check out the Minerva Craft Club, where you can save 10% on every order for a whole year. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. We would love to help you out. And if you're looking for more dopamine dressing inspiration, be sure to check out the hashtag here on Minerva. It is full of beautiful handmade creations. It is so fun to read about how all these garments hold special meaning to each of the makers. And if you have made something special that gives you that kind of extra little boost, we would love to see it. You can post it over on the Minerva community with the hashtag dopamine dressing. Making your own clothes is already a huge step towards dopamine dressing because by creating your own garment, you're literally sewing intention and creativity into the item itself. Wearing bright colors can absolutely enhance your mood, so I definitely encourage you to play around and experiment with ways you can add, like maybe just a little splash of color into your me-made wardrobe. But remember that dopamine dressing is truly about expressing yourself and wearing the things that make you truly happy. So maybe bright colors aren't your thing, but there's lots of really fun ways that you can make your sewing projects your own and really reflect your own personal style. I hope you've enjoyed today's roundup of sewing inspiration. Be sure you're subscribed on YouTube and following Minerva TV for more fun sewing videos. Until next time, happy making, guys. Bye!